we go. I don't know about that. Not entirely sure about that. Okay, good morning, everybody. We'll get started on this session here. Thank you very much for your time. Brian, you want to shut that door? Just with my vibe, I boom and annoy other people when I teach. No one wants to ever teach next to me. They have this horrendous voice. And maths teachers, as I said, we have an unenviable position. As I said yesterday, we have to sell a product that no one wants to buy, yet by law they have to. Okay, so we have a little bit of a tough gig. And we don't get much support from the parents. Oh yeah, I don't know about maths. I was woeful at maths at school. It's okay, darling. All right? Thank you for reinforcing it. Okay? Just to explain what today's session is about. Look, it's going to be slightly dry in one sense. As Margot said, could you just share your workflow? So Steve Griffin is going to leave me so in the shade with his cubes and everything, ties yesterday, and I don't have too many interactives. But what I want you is you to be the interactive. If I've got a workflow going, or you see something and you want to question that, please interrupt the group, interrupt the discussion, and question, why did you do it that way? And I'll show you a couple of OneNotes today, and you'll see even in the last 6 months, I've changed my workflow. Okay, it's constantly evolving. And I react to me and I react to my students. You think you've got the super organised OneNote until you're trying to find that worksheet that you created and where'd you put it, and that just makes you rethink. The second, a fly in our ointment, is we're starting to mess with Teams a little bit. And that's made me rethink one or two things. Anyway, who am I? Look, I'm a teacher. I happily currently teach mathematics, which is all I can teach. Head of digital pedagogy. I love the girls spend half their pedagogy. What the hell's a pedagogy? Okay, and I didn't make the title. It was one of those foisted upon me ones. Basically, we identified a need that with all the digital explosion of digital, how do we use it? The how became easy. The hardest question that I deal with on a daily basis is why. Why are you doing it? We made all sorts of mistakes with this to start with. You know, we'd come in and have a PD on the 50 top apps. People would walk out going, what the hell? Okay, so now we talk about what do you want to have happen in your classroom? And that led on to what we do at our place. We're a Microsoft school, so everything I do, my workflows are Office 365. Okay, now can they be replicated with Google? Yes. Can they be replicated with that technology? Yes, but it's harder. Okay, Steve and I do a talk every so often on the Tale of Two Steves, high tech, low tech. Both with the same goal, but slightly different approaches. Again, I always have to give context. Our school, 1,500 students. Every student has a stylus-enabled device. That used to be the Surface Pro. It's now, because HP, Lenovo, we really would love to be device agnostic as long as it meets a set of conditions. Okay, does it do that? Yeah, buy it. Okay. We do have a full campus implementation of Class OneNote. Every class from grade 5 to grade 12 will have a Class OneNote. Now, we're like every other school as well. We have a continuum of use of that. Right, I've got my OneNote, thank you. And you'll see the photocopier. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, no, it's not cool, but you know, it's a real personal space, a teacher's classroom, isn't it? Okay, so it's my job is to talk the why. Why do you photocopy that? Oh, the kids like paper. Actually, you know what? They don't. They lose it. The best feedback I got from grade 5 teachers about Class OneNote was, hey, we haven't lost a worksheet this year. And good, tick that box. And this is the why behind us. We were tired of the top 50 apps and how we could implement it. So we looked at a process. We said, okay, what do you think we could do that would shift the needle the most? And we came up with feedback. Okay, we thought, okay, feedback's really cool. So OneNote helped us feedback well to the students. Insert audio, digital linking, okay, easy review tabs. We'll talk about all of these. Now with the QCAA, we can't freelance anymore. We've got to stay with the same curriculum. Okay? Is it FX or is it F? Is it Y? What are we doing here, people? So we've now created common subject content libraries across subjects and classes. So it's this big pillar silo of information, and we will pick out of that for our Class OneNotes. We add and subtract. We have a one in, one out policy. Don't add to the common OneNote unless you're really willing to take something out of it. We don't want it to become this, you know, you go to the G drive, exponential equations, and as mathematicians, intelligently named worksheet A, B, C, D, you know, and you're looking for that one killer worksheet on something, and you're going, are you kidding me? I'm going to open all this up. And in 2016, we mandated that across the school. And that was contentious for a number of reasons. I'm a big believer, you insist, they're going to resist. Okay? And we still got resistance. Okay? Now, just for complete, I take a master, and this grass has been mowed to the bone in the last 2 days. But I've been doing this for nearly 18 months now, taking a mastery approach. I do subscribe to the beliefs that, given appropriate conditions, now I'm talking about content here, domain-specific skills, okay, that we can teach all the students, including time. That's I don't know about you guys and girls, that's my biggest issue I have, time, okay, and that might be different for different teachers. Again, we've talked about that, but looking at what Gusky did, Gusky, if you are interested in mastery approach, Thomas Gusky, he's the man. He has written well about it. He gives an approach that we can use. You know, teachers, we want to do this period 1. Okay? How do I? So he talks about diagnostic pre-assessment. Now this is going somewhere, sorry. Okay, I'm hoping to tie this into my OneNote and see why I structure my OneNote the way I do. So I am going somewhere with this. So he talks about diagnostic pre-assessment. You're a goose if you try and teach a new concept over the top of a badly understood concept. That's just a recipe for failure. Why do we do it? Because we've do a time poor. We've got the conveyor belt approach going, right? 3 weeks to teach unit 1, done it, move on. I've taught it, but it doesn't mean they've learnt it. And that's a tough one. And that's a really hard one to beat. This is where we really shine as teachers. Don't let anyone talk down to you about direct instruction or explicit instruction or an expert showing. Okay, that seems to get lost a lot in the wash. And that's our craft. That's the ability for us to have great content knowledge and pedagogical knowledge means that we can explain a concept in more than one way. That's our gift. You didn't get that the first time. Okay, right. What if train A leaves station B 1 hour, you know, and I'll come up with a different way. This is where we shine. Now, very important, progress monitoring through regular formative assessments. Craig Barton, brilliant book to read. He doesn't like the term formative assessment because of the word assessment. He calls it progress monitoring through regular responsive teaching. Respond to the gap in the knowledge. And our challenge is identifying that appropriately and in time. Okay? Boom. Here's the second part where we shine as individuals. High quality corrective instruction. Don't reteach the same material the same way. They didn't get it the first time. Okay? I try and explain highly corrective instruction to my wife. Okay, that's not how you load the dishwasher. Goes through it again, yes dear. Okay? And the last one is a second parallel formative assessment. Too much we spend with our assessment is at one point in time they get one shot at it. And the whole point of a second parallel formative assessment is, did this work? There was a problem, I intervened, had a conversation, now have a second shot at it. Okay? We underestimate that. Okay? And that's our system. We are constrained. We have constraints. We have our system. QCAA, 50% exit exam in November next year. Hey, rock that one. That's going to be great fun. But yeah, Gusky is a great source. And this one I'm finding challenging as a teacher. That's a hard one for me. Not more worksheets, not more questions of the same type, but something that remains within the domain-specific knowledge we're talking about, yet provides them with an avenue to extend their complex reasoning, okay, their higher order thinking. And it might be only 1 or 2 girls, okay? And so you can see the economics is coming. Oh, I've got to spend all this time for 2. Yeah, that's tough. OneNote 2016 versus Windows 10 app. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Okay, show of hands, who uses 10 app? Windows 10 app for OneNote. Who uses OneNote 2016 app?
Can you even get that?
What?
I don't know which one. Mine disappeared.
Yeah, we still got that. We still got that. Yeah. I like living. So to reissue staff devices without OneNote 2016 is a recipe for me to be 6 feet under. So we have that on the learning management system for staff to download and use. We believe they've suffered enough change in 1 year without imposing Windows 10 on them. Our plan is, and I had a meeting with about 22 heads of digital pedagogy on Wednesday night, and I said, and I went around the room and said, who's doing what next year? And the general consensus around the room was, all students are going to Windows 10 app next year, right? And they're transitioning their staff throughout the year. That's their goal. A lot of bad talk going on about this at the moment. It's still alive. It'll be alive till 2022. They just won't add anything new to it. This, they're getting better and better and better and better. There's still 2 or 3 things in here that I can't do. I run both. Okay? Why do we let the students use that and not that? Because they don't have to use add students, manage classes, distribute worksheets, review student work. They don't have the higher order set that we need to have going on. All right? So, and there are some tools in here I hope to show you today as an extra that as a maths teacher, this has got some legs. These are the core tools I use. This is new, really, really, really new. This is really a bit of a lie. Okay, I had a space of white and I filled it with Teams. I have one class playing with Teams at the moment and looking at the issues with it. If you don't use Stream, use YouTube. Use, what else is there other than YouTube? ClickView, Office 365 video channel. I use Forms a lot. I copped a lot of flack for it. Because it's I use multiple choice questions. Why? Time. I don't have time to mark repeatedly, regularly mark, but correctly formulated and built multiple choice questions are brilliant for what they're designed to do. Testing domain specific knowledge. Can you solve a 2-step equation? Can you find the amount of interest on this investment? Da, 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 da. I've added 2 buttons in the last 2 weeks. One is, I have no idea. So they get 4 options. And then now they get a 5th option. Not a clue, sir. Brilliant, love it. And a little one down the bottom that says, how confident are you in your answer? Barton suggests that is massive. Because he says the biggest shift in the needle in learning occurs when they're super confident. Yeah, I'm giving that a 5. And they're wrong. Okay? It's like me every Friday night. Yeah, the Roosters are going to kill them. Okay, I support Liverpool. Here are the key assets that we're going to have a chat about today. Class notebook add-in, teacher only section. Again, of all the users in OneNote here, who is comfortable using the teacher? Who uses the teacher only section? Brilliant. It's the engine room. It's the engine room. It's going to declutter your OneNote. Group sections versus sections. I really want to get people's feedback on this. I was huge on this and I battered Microsoft for 9 months about their inadequate dealings with people who use group sections. And because of that, I had to change my workflow to sections and not so much group sections. I found out that, okay, I probably didn't need the group sections as much as I thought I did. Okay? This is gold for me. The work tab and templates. Talk a little bit about templates, creating templates to reduce your workload. Because what are we trying to do here? This is only a platform. This is no silver bullet. This is going to support you and I trying to do what we do best. Give us what do we want most time to do? Be with the students. Right? That's the goal. That's the goal. Everyone's got an acronym nowadays. You hang around QCA too long and you get an acronym. Right? So I developed an acronym. I didn't need to, I wanted to. CDRF makes no sense to anyone. But create, distribute, review, and feedback is the workflow that we've come up with OneNote. Okay? These 2, teacher only section, student section. Actually, out of OneNote, that's the personalisation. That's when you can do it digitally or you can do it one-to-one, okay? But these 2 here, teacher-only section, please. Okay, really build your workflow through that. So let's have a look at a couple of things. Now, again, show and tell. Tell me to stop at any stage, particularly when I get it wrong. Like right now, Alt-Tab. The girls taught me this the other day. Oh, man, I've blown it. I'll come back to my thingy in a minute. Just out of preference, oh, by the way, that there, that's happened to be a leftover. If you are interested in unpacking it any further, buy it. Okay? Mark McCourt. Follow him on Twitter. Okay? Teach for Mastery. It's a great book. Okay? It has got a maths bent in it, but it is such a good book to have a look at. Okay, so let's take a walk through now. Do you have a particular preference? And I'll go with the group here. Do you want me to do my demo in Windows 10 or in 2016? 2016. Let's flip between the two. Let's flip between the two. Let's be Let's be a responsive mastery teacher to respond to the classroom. I'll flip between the two. Sorry.
Clarifying question, like basic level. When you're saying 2016 and 2010, how does that relate to 365?
Good point. No idea. No. Windows 10 app ships with Office 365 education subscription. OneNote 2016 no longer ships.
What if we're just using 365? So
If you're using 365, you will be on the Windows 10 app version. So they're quite recognisable. The biggest key component, the difference between the two, that's the same. That is exactly the same OneNote, displayed two different ways. There's the Windows 10. It basically displays things vertically down the left-hand side. The Windows 2016 puts everything across the top. In a nutshell. That's a really...
Because 10 and 10.
Look, we won't get into the debate about why. Honest to gosh, we won't. I tried. They explained it to me and I walked away, and I used to have hair. But it's just something we're going to have to... Teachers, we're very resilient people. So walking through my OneNote very quickly, you'll see across the top comment headings. They've each got a purpose, and that's it. When you include something in OneNote, remember, it's adding to the ring binder, it's adding to the girls having to manoeuvre around it. So if you're going to give something space in your OneNote, it has to have a purpose. If it doesn't, delete it. Okay? And so be very purposeful with it. So collaboration space, we don't play well we're still learning. Essentially, it's for me. I'll put their guide to it in there. So I do use the collaboration section this way. If I look at, say, the unit on prob and stats, it's there. The girls know what's coming. They know what's expected. There's no, I didn't know that was due. Right? Color-coded even. We do, as I said, cubics and quadrics. We've taught it a week ago. There's the quiz, online Microsoft Form quiz, followed up 3 or 4 days later with a mastery sheet done in exam conditions, 20 minutes in class in front of me. Okay, that's space practice. The flip lessons are in green. They're sometimes in flips, they're out flips. That's done at home, and they're there. So the girls, that's what I use it for. They can copy and paste that. They can tick the boxes. The check boxes are good. Okay, the girls can come in and tick the box. I know that sounds... we're list makers. We like to tick. I did that too. Okay, so that's essentially what I use the Collab Space for. If I move out of that into the content library, my content library is generic. It stays the same. It doesn't deviate in its format or its style. Content obviously varies from topic to topic. So I'll have the unit planner. The students, again, they've got that. Okay? And I try and simplify the language of what I want them to be able to do. This is what's going to support them, so they know they're going to be 3 worksheets. I don't use a textbook, I steal from textbooks with their permission. And each little subtopic has got a master in a quiz. That's that repeated formative assessment. Check, 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 check. And then the flipped lessons associated with that. So they get that, and it's from there I can just right-click and distribute that to all students. So they've all got a copy of that. Okay? So that's there. Again, a throwback because of my age. I had PowerPoints. I still use them, so I just print them in. It actually is good for me because I'm a lazy bugger, and I don't have to write that now. I can talk to it. I can be around the room. I can come down the back. I can move around. So I still use my PowerPoints. Okay, so I've just reimagine them in another way. Video channel exists. Every lesson we do is created with a video channel. Okay, lightboard, screencast-o-matic, document camera, whatever. And that just lives there. Okay, so that's the video channel. They go to the video channel. Shoot, Court.
Do you put them all in there and then it makes it a very heavy document?
No, because they're all links. That's a great question. They're all from YouTube. YouTube, very simply, it's a fabulous question because Courtney, in full disclosure, which I believe in total transparency and honesty, and the guys will remember from yesterday's, 2 years ago when we started using video, we put the video file in, didn't we? And then we did right-click distribute, and we wrecked the place. Okay? We absolutely wrecked the joint. Okay? Because the English department, they like the big video. They don't like my 5-minute, here's how to solve a quadratic. There's Romeo and Juliet, and so out it goes. 1 gig file, distribute to 250 students. Needle on the server's going in the red. My phone's ringing. Yeah. So yeah, that is actually of critical importance. Where you store the video. So you've made your video. You've been to Stevie Griffith's class. You've watched his video. You know how to make a video. You've put it on the cloud somewhere. Click view. There's so many good options. The URL. The beauty of both OneNote 2016 and the Windows 10 app. It will embed the video. And I'm going to show you why that, I believe, in terms of cognitive load, is really, really important. There's a reason for that. That's it. Now, because I make all these videos, but not all of them end up being flipped lessons. Okay? So that's important. So I go through the course outline, I look at, okay, I need a lesson on that, lesson on that, lesson on that. Very expensive buy-in. That's the downside. Expensive buy-in.
Steve, I just wanted to ask, so you've taken them from
YouTube.
Stream, from YouTube?
Yep, let's have a look.
And then a link, the video channel link, is that just a link back to your YouTube page?
Yeah.
They're in there.
So for example here, grab this one. I'm staring at that red update button on the top of the toolbar there and hoping to gosh I've turned off auto update. Because I don't want that to happen in the middle.
Just cutting and pasting the URL.
Yeah, so here we go. There's this video. I want to put that video in OneNote. Okay, either URL, that one. Grab that. Jump it down here. Let's confuse the little girls. What's this video? Is that an exam? Right. There it goes. That's all it is. It's just a link. I can resize that.
And why don't you just give them the stream, access to your stream account with the playlist?
I do stream exactly the same way though, but I URL it. Show you why. That's a good question, and I will answer that. And I could be wrong. You guys might turn around and say, no, you're missing the point. Two reasons. If I put a link in there and they click on it, I use my daughters as an example. You click the link, it takes you to YouTube, yeah? What's on the right-hand side of YouTube? Yeah. My daughter's going, oh, what's Snoop Dogg done? Yeah, oh, yeah. So 20 minutes in, I think she's doing her homework. No, she's just watched them, and I can't keep up with what they watch. I don't know. I'm not going to even pretend I know. So the idea of the embed, you'll see in a flipped template, keeps them in the environment. Okay? And 15-year-old girls sometimes need a little bit of help. They do. They need our help. We think they're digital natives. They're not really. They're not. No, they're not. And we assume we make errors, and I made errors, and I'll keep making errors, that they are. And they're actually not really digital natives. Here's my power section. Here's my teacher-only section. And if I can give you one takeaway, this will help your workflow. Okay, this will make your life a little easier. The teacher-only section, for those that are new to OneNote, the girls don't see it. The students can't see it. If we share a OneNote, if I add you as a teacher, you get to see everything in that class OneNote. Okay, this is where I build everything. One of the criteria I try and tell teachers when using OneNote: build it natively. Don't go to OneNote. Don't go to Word. Create the Word document. Insert the Word document. Try as much as you can to create natively. In other words, get a piece of paper and start work in OneNote. A couple of reasons for that. You don't have a second copy that you've got to edit later if you've made a mistake, which I invariably do. I just can directly edit in OneNote. Updated, sync, done, finished. Okay? And I can't file for the life of me. So I need, this just simplifies what I do. So across the top here, I've got admin. That just contains all necessary evils. Here's an example of a workflow. I remember in one of the elements Gusky talks about is prerequisite knowledge. Check for prerequisite understanding. We're about to start analytical geometry. There's nothing in there that deals with analytical geometry per se, but it deals with the previously learned knowledge they should have that relates to the topic. Okay? They need to evaluate. They need to be able to evaluate by sub and solve. Okay? So this is what they do prior to the unit starting. They need to be able to solve equations. At no point am I talking about analytical geometry. I'm just talking about basic skills that they should have. And that comes down. Okay? So that's the pre-check before we start the unit. Now, if I've got to burn a lesson or two there, which we hate to do, so I've only got 8 lessons to teach this, I'm going to burn 2 checking prerequisite knowledge. I gain that in the long run. Trust me on this one. You gain it in the long run. If they're good at that, when I'm actually doing the vertex form of a parabola, I have to double check, can they substitute, can they solve, can they find x, can they manipulate the equation? We've dealt with that prereq knowledge early. And I'm flowing a lot more on the new concept. And basically the girls did it, we checked it, and if they got it wrong, there was a link up the top here. If they were ordinary at PR1, they clicked the PR1 link that took them to a worksheet. That was okay. Talked to Griffiths, as usual, criticised the hell out of me. And this is the next iteration. Maths methods. I can't even remember the top. Oh, calculus of exponentials. Now, maths teachers in the room, you're going, there's no calculus here. There isn't meant to be. This is skills that they should be able to deal with in order to succeed at the new knowledge. Index laws. Now, the trick we've done here is, not trick, they do the work. They're disastrous. Oh, I can't remember that stuff, sir. Good. Click on the video link now. There's the flip lesson on that. Okay? Empower them. Metacognition. Get them to learn about their learning. Right? And again, the simplicity here, everybody, is because it's in my teacher only section, I'll go right click. Come on and respond. Don't leave me hanging out here. Distribute that page. And if I've set my... Everyone have a quick sleep while this kicks in. Distribute page. Come on. There, finally. And I will then distribute that to the appropriate section. Set activities, Mr. Crapnell. Boom. And it would go out to all the students. Okay? And that way I create in the teacher only section. I distribute from the teacher only section. I'm going to apologise here because time is an issue for this. We can't actually go through the technicalities, but I'll show you a couple of courses that will help you. Okay, so all we're doing in this session is having a chat about my workflow, and you know, Paul will sit there and go, yeah, some of it's okay, some of it I do different, and that's okay. That's cool, right? And this is what I was just hoping to do today, is just explain. So from there, out it goes to all my students. So that's my admin section. And so across the top here, what are the only three things I really do? Flip lesson, mastery, and forms. That's all the sections I've got. Keep it clean, keep it simple. Now, the flip lesson one to start the ball rolling. Problem stats. And it's a template. I'll just expand that out. It's a standard template that I create and stamp out. And then all I do is drop in the link to the video in the empty space here. It fills it. So, instructions. This is Cornell Notes that you heard Stephen talk about if you were there yesterday. You'll see this in action in a minute. This is invaluable. This is what matters to me. I'll give my clip over there about this. Okay? And then down below, and this is where I've got to rein in some of our maths teachers. They want to go higher order thinking questions down here. No, you're introducing something new. Let them just get their feet under the table. Success is a massive motivator. Let them get a couple right. Hey, that is not so bad. Then you hit them with the heart. No. Okay. So, yeah, and I do have to rein some teachers in there. Just, no, keep it simple, keep it simple. And so that's a stock standard template that rolls out. You'll see them, they're all the same. Okay, and all I do each time is change the video and the questions down the bottom. I'll show you something that's a little bit different at this point, and I'm not entirely sure I've got it right. To try and streamline the process, I've used forms. Okay, so I'll jump OneNotes here. Teacher only, flip lesson, finance. I used forms for this one, because forms allows me to put a video in. So I got so lazy, I didn't want to even mark the two little questions I gave them to support the flip lesson. So I built the video into forms, which you can. They still take their notes. Why? Because it's embedded. So it can't be passive. They watch the video, they take the notes. And then the form contains 2 self-marked questions. There and there. So that was me streamlining that using forms. Well, it took it off me to mark, and I can do crazy things with forms like just jump in a hurry. If I go into forms here, okay. 12s are supposed to be working on something at the moment. Let's see what they're doing, and I can get the data up on that form very, very quickly and have a look at what they're doing. Okay, and it comes up in a nice little boom. Oh, actually, this was a little bit too straightforward. I'm not going to get the data. Here we go, brilliant. There's the 2 questions I'm going to walk in Monday morning and deal with. First 3 the class was good, but this one's fractured the class. All right? So I'll screenshot them, drop them in OneNote. Here we go, girls, have a look at that. Who is this? Talk to me about it. And they will. Because I know I've gone before early and had a look at who was that. Okay? And we will have the discussion. But that informs my teaching. I don't do the whole form. I don't reteach the whole form. I come straight in. Wow, 31% of the students who've responded so far got that's me. That's on me, maybe. That's sort of hinting that's on me. Okay, I'll go have a look at that. So that's a little experiment I've used, and I'm not sold on it yet for a variety of reasons. Okay, so you can embed a form. Then I'll jump back to where I was there. So that's my flip lessons. Mastery. Come here. Am I still in flip lessons? No, that's forms. Here's my mastery. This is done under exam conditions. Again, created here, created natively. Typed in, boom, boom. Give the girls room to manoeuvre. Give them room to answer. Feedback section up the top for me, which we can have a good laugh at some of my feedback later. All bad examples. Sorry?
They do that on device.
They do that. This is it. Good question in the sense that people say, oh, do you make them use a digital ink all the time? No. Except for this. This is the only time I insist they use digital ink. I don't want to collect pieces of paper. Okay? I'll lose them. Okay? They can use their daypad. They can use pen and paper. They can do the flip lesson on pen and paper. What they do, they just take a screenshot of that and drop it in the OneNote. I still get to see the evidence. Okay? So I've got no problem with that. That's why I include the link as well. Okay? Because if the embed doesn't work, just click the link. Okay? And I must admit, I'm a fan of YouTube. It has never let me down. It's never let me down. Okay? The link didn't work. So let's get into. So that's, look, the teacher only section. I can't strongly recommend that enough to use it and get in the habit. I used to have a separate OneNote for this class, and that's where I put all my stuff. Then I turned teacher only on. Now it's all in the one place. Okay? What are you doing, Stephen? I'll add you as a teacher to my class. So I'm sharing that. So the teachers, it's so easy just to add a teacher to it and they can see what's going on. Hey, I don't mind that. Shoot.
Do you regenerate the OneNote each year?
No, we have, as I said. So there's the 10 beta core content library. That's for this subject. There's the 10 beta core content library. Term 1, Term 2, Term 3, Term 4, please, if you're going to do this, do give a caveat on it. Please do not remove or edit the resources and teach teachers the difference between copy and cut. No, seriously, no, do. We underestimate the power of the cut, right? You'll come into your beautifully constructed core OneNote and it's missing half the stuff, right? And someone new to it, and it's not their fault, but someone told them the difference. Oh, I want that. Control X instead of Control C, and the other teachers. So that's it. We keep everything here, and I update that one. I'll be responsible for 10 beta. Lena, you're responsible for methods. Update it, renew it, make sure it's right.
So then you create a class, you invite a class.
Well, no, what we do, that's standalone. So I'll create my class OneNote at the start here, and I'll come here, and I'll just go right-click, copy, into the content library. Yeah, and then yeah, there's reusables. Year 10 maths next year, which I've told them if they don't give it to me, I'll be finding them because I've created all these resources. I want to get 2 years use out of it, okay? And that's simply a shift copy into the newly generated OneNote.
So the only people on that beta
are the teachers. That's the key to it. That's what we found has been actually very, very good. Because our school, I don't know if your school's any different, we have students and staff that suffer greatly from the disease called FOMO. Fear of missing out. Brian Amity's class got worksheet 4, we didn't. We're not going to do as well on the test as his class. Right? So we're trying to get that out of it. Okay? It's a hard one because what if a teacher creates something extra above and beyond that they've given their class? Does she have to give that to everybody's class? That's a tough conversation. Yes, no, maybe. Oh, they got to see extra styles of questions. Well, that teacher did it. Let them do it. Because there's a fine line between telling a teacher this is the content you've got to cover to telling them how to cover that content. And I'm uncomfortable with telling a teacher how to cover content. That's their pedagogy. That's why they're in the school. They're the master of that domain. Okay, I've got to trust the profession. Okay? They are doing a good job. Let them do it. Don't tell them how to do it. Supply them with OneNotes and core content libraries that assist them to do it. Show them workflows to do it. But I struggle, I really do struggle telling a teacher how to teach. Now, check time, check. Lunch is at 1. We're leaving here at 5:02, so we're the first in the queue. That's my target goal. Right? Honest to goodness, yeah. We're going first. So let's have a look at set activity. Now, while I've got that up, I don't know if that's entirely clear. This is a bit of a disaster one at the moment because it's last terms. Do you notice the sections I've created with my initials? You see them? Created that section, distributed to all students. So you can distribute sections. You can distribute group sections to all students. So we sort of agreed. Now there's a couple here that are confusing because you'll see that's repeated up here. That was me stuffing teams up for the first time. So sort of ignore the first 2 lines. That was when I really messed up teams. So I will send out class notes, set activities, and mastery and quizzes. The girls then can do whatever they want with their OneNote. But the reason the naming nomenclature is very, very important, if I put something in a section or group section that's got SCR on it, my initials, don't rename it, don't shift it, don't move it, don't give it a pretty emoji on the title, because when I come to do what I'm about to do now, I will not find your work. If I can't find your work, you haven't done your work. But I have, I just put, you haven't done your work. Okay? They learn very quickly. You almost want a student to do it the first time, so you can bring them out and publicly humiliate them and shame them and do all the things we shouldn't do in a pastorally caring school. Okay? But I tell you what, it's hell of an effective method. No, I don't do that, and neither do I condone that action. Okay? So the SCR, or your teacher initials, the girls, and it's educating these digital natives. This is it. If I'm going to I really don't mind what they do in their class notes. That's their space. I'll push their results out to their section so I don't get knocks on my office door going, "Sir, I missed last lesson, can you give me my grade?" It's in your results folder. Okay? Admin goes out. Okay? But these 2 are the non-negotiables, and I'll show you why, because I'm about to review their work. Okay? So I come in here, review. Well, what do I want to have a look at? Let's have a look at unit 8. I will just look at how the students respond to a flipped lesson. Okay? All right. Grab Anna. Oh my goodness. Okay. So there's Anna. She's taken some notes, and this is the one, actually, deja vu, I used this yesterday. Anna's got a great question. I was wrong in the video. Okay, I'd done a probability question, there's vowels and consonants. What's the probability of drawing a vowel? I'd miscounted the number of vowels. Okay? The good thing about it was only 2 girls picked that error up. Good on them. Okay? This is good. This is their notes, and down the bottom. Okay? She's had to go at the 2 questions. That's the power of the stylus for me, by the way. Okay? iPad, they can use it on an iPad. Asha, let's have a look at Asha here. Okay? Asha's done a little screenshot for hers. This was interesting. Very first year I did this, I had Ruby, and Ruby won't mind me naming and shaming her because I tell her every conference I go to I name and shame her. Ruby's concept of taking notes was pausing the video, screenshotting it, and putting that in the notes. Right? First couple of times she did it, I've gone, genius. That's cracked it. That's what I'd do. And then I thought about it, and I consulted the oracles on pedagogy. And the deal is that the important learning curve is synthesizing, analyzing, listening, and putting it into words that they understand, making sense of it. And I had to go back to Ruby and said, "Ruby, nice. I like it. It's a very creative approach, but you're out of luck. I want to see some ink." Okay. "Oh, really?" "Yes, Ruby, really." Okay. "Are you serious?" "Yes, Ruby." And again, there we go. Grab Claudia from memory. Claudia needs some work on the notes. Yeah, she does, still does. I'm sure I said more than that, Claudia. Okay. But, and again, in maths, your experience in maths, note-taking in maths is sort of foreign sometimes. You've got to teach them. What we did the first 2 flip lessons, I sat with them in the class, played the video and took notes with them. The digital natives don't exist. Okay? They're great at Snapchat. Tell them about this. Teach them how to do this stuff. Okay? So there, that's very simply, and that just continues on. Okay? You'll see it go through and through and through. Different notes, different levels of note-taking. Boom. All the way through. That's the importance of that SCR. Every student is there. Okay? No one's missing. right? What you do with your other folders, your other sections, good, your business. That's mine, okay? And it's totally non-negotiable on that. If we have a quick look at the mastery, and you'll see, again, a poor example of feedback from a teacher who should know better. And I've got no problems with showing you this. And the English department, I work very closely with the English department on getting better at this. And they're highly critical. And they're wonderful because I don't like echo chambers. If I'm wrong, I want to know I'm wrong. Or else I can't improve. Here we go. Now, this is me at my best. See my commentary, question 3, be careful with assuming that A is 1. That's copious. I got writer's cramp at the end of that. Christine Beckman, Head of English. Steve, don't just say good work. Tell them what's good about it. Steve, why do maths teachers insist on crossing it and then writing the answer underneath it? That's the end of the conversation. There's no conversation. Right? And that's really important. And you'll see I occasionally drift into bad and then into good. I'm learning. Okay, what I should be doing is inserting audio comments. Okay, this is where I'm getting better. I must admit I feel comfortable here. Okay. I don't tell her what A is. I tell her that she's assumed that A is 1. Do you want to rethink that thought? What we try and do, and we're not totally successful, they do their first attempt, I mark in red, they follow up with a different colour pen so I can see the adjustment in the response. Okay, they are to respond to this. This is mastery. This is done in exam conditions. 20 minutes, don't talk, do it. Okay, and what they also get is a blue, see the blue highlighter pen here? If I feel that hasn't been mastered, I'll circle it in blue. They'll get a second mastery quiz. After I've intervened, done my corrective, second mastery quiz, they attempt that. But they only attempt, see, Anna has only got to attempt that question again. I feel she's mastered those 3. But I'm not going to sign off on mastery of that subtopic yet. Come on, that's important. I'm going to need that later. So she goes back and she has another crack at that. Asha, what's Asha doing for me? Yeah, again, that's terrible, isn't it? That's really disappointing. I gave her a sticker. I felt proud. And I tried with the sticker. But no, in all seriousness, this is not good feedback, is it? Well done. It's dirt. I got it all right. Of course it's well done.
She's got it done.
Pardon? Yeah, and I say to the English part, so what do I say there? What do I say? Just say something positive. Say the solution was a concise and clear solution. Use your exit language. Use your criteria language so they can start recognising the cognitive verbs that we use in the QCAA. So they say, when you say describe, so I've actually described. I now know what described is. The best thing Christine's taught me, and I need to do it more, and I don't, is this. Okay, it's one of the best workflows around. Watch this one. A lot of teachers in this room, I guarantee, are doing it. Insert audio. Hi Asha, that was really high quality work. I like the way you described the quadratic and you've clearly identified in a concise form the way you've developed that solution. Well done, Chief. Well, I might not say Chief, but okay. So Ash is going to be at home now going, oh, I got feedback for something I did 2 months ago. Okay. Yeah, where is he at? So, and can I urge you, look, all of this is great stuff and I love it. It's made me know my students better. It's made me know what they don't know better, and it's given me the ability to close the gap on what they don't know quicker. But what it's also improved, and it was a completely unintended outcome of all this mastery approach, it improved the relationship with the student. What that did, I started to understand individually what they did and did not know, and then I could correct that. That in turn increased their success in the subject. That in turn increased their motivation in the subject. That increased their grade in the subject, and the cycle continued. And that, I wish I could stand up here and tell you that was the intended outcome of moving to a mastery approach. It wasn't. But the unintended outcome of that approach was the fact that I improved the relationships. I was off this 15 minutes on the whiteboard, 35 minutes man of the people. Okay? And the first couple of times I did it, I was walking around the room, the girls are going, what are you doing? And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't. So it's honestly goodness. It's a true story. And I'd wander around and I'd just start listening to the conversations. Then I'd start dropping into the conversations. All these skills are generically inbred in a social science English history teacher. You go and watch their classes. That's how I want to teach. Throw a hand grenade down and let it explode and have the class discuss it. They've been flipping for 30 to 40 years, but we didn't call it that. Go home, read that passage, we'll talk in class. Okay? That's what I'm doing now with the video. And I wanted those conversations. I wanted to understand, and it's the only authentic conversation you'll ever have with a student about the learning that means that she's done the work. Mum, dad, brother, sister, tutor hasn't done the work. And I can hear immediately what the problem is. I'm going to have that conversation. And I'm moving around. Okay. 4 minutes to go. My sincere apologies. So that's essentially, if I stop it there, that's the workflow. I am going to stop it there because I did promise we'd leave early. MEC course. If you want to learn about it, Microsoft. Now, I'm not pushing a product. Please, 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 please. I definitely, seriously not. They just do a better job than I could ever do now. They do a better job. Microsoft Educator Community. Use your Office 365. Log in. It counts at our school as QCT hours. Paul goes and does that. He's got an hour towards QCT. Right? That's one course. That's the intro course. This is a nicer course. The course we've just talked about now. Class Teachers 1. They've got ones for staff notebooks. They're there. Please, 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 please use them. And forms, have a play with forms. In terms of that, look at that. My Monday morning's covered now. Period 1, Monday morning, Year 11, maths methods, product rule, quotient rule, exponential functions. We're going back and have a look at that. Okay? So that's basically it. Yes?
You still need the previous slide.
The previous slide. Yes, certainly, sir. Where was I? That one? Yeah. Just MEC. In the little hourglass, in the little search button, type in OneNote and it will list all the courses. But as I said, there's 2 hours PD. You get a certificate. You get the points. It creates a digital resume, by the way. It keeps a digital record of every course you've done. I've got my resume for the last, since 2015, of every course I've done on MEC. So if you're going for another job, you're looking at another position, print the transcript. There's where I'm keeping current. Wow, that's pretty cool. I like your work. Boom. Everybody, thank you so much. I hope that just, it's a flavour. It's a talk. Look, you've got my details there. Email me, ask anything. Please, 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 please. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.